Hello, figments of my imagination. Warcraft Rumble comes out today. I posted my review yesterday and figured it might help some people to have a little mini guide for everyone just starting out. So let's get right into it. The game starts with a pre-made deck and a few very easy levels to teach you the basics. The first real choice you'll get is your starting leader, and this is a pretty important choice. While you can, and probably will, eventually get all leaders, starting with a strong one can carry you pretty far in the campaign, especially since your first leader gets upgraded to uncommon for free at 18 sigils and gets a talent at 20. As for what leader to pick, my recommendations are on screen now, but mainly just be sure to avoid highly specialized ones, like Jaina, Thalnos, or Razorflank. After your leader pick, the next big unlock is the quest system. Quests give XP for a specific many that you choose from 3 offered. Quests also have rarities. Uncommon gives a little experience, Rare gives a lot more, and Epic gives the most. Uncommon quests cycle away every 30 minutes, while Rare and Epic last for 12 hours, so you can check the app every once in a while to snipe more rewarding quests. Apparently you can do 20 quests a day, but unused quests stack up to 300. Quests are basically a grind of last resort for when you can't progress the campaign anymore and have nothing else to do. Dailies are also unlocked around this point. They reset every day at 12 AM local time and award tomes and occasionally troops. Winning any game fills a bar, but higher rarity quests actually progress it faster. Rare quests give 2 bars and epics give the full 3. Good to keep in mind if you're short on time. At some point, the Arclight Booster will unlock in the store. If you're willing to spend money, this upgrade is by far the best $20 you can spend on this game, boosting all experience by 20% and all gold by 50%. It even comes with 1,000 gold to help offset the price of the buff, and if you can't afford it yet, or just want to see if you like the game first, it banks all the extra gold you would have earned with it equipped and gives it to you when you buy it. At 22 sigils, Arclight Surges become available. These events last for 3 days, affecting 10 total campaign levels. Completing a Surge level awards 40 gold, meaning the whole thing gives 400 gold, or 600 boosted. Since these refresh every 3 days and give a lot of gold, they should be your top priority even above the campaign. At 23 sigils, you'll get another leader choice. After that, leaders will now appear in the grid with the other units. Leader availability is a little different than traditional minis. Every week, a different faction will be featured from among Horde, Alliance, Beast, Undead, and Blackrock. Only leaders from the featured faction can show up in the grid for that week, so be sure to get them while you can. At this point, you probably have a good amount of gold, so we should talk about how best to spend it. But first, a brief word on how not to spend it. Don't buy experience. Both tomes and direct mini experience are frequently sold in the daily offer section. These are gold traps. Buying them will typically slow progress overall. Instead, you want to focus on raising your collection level. Every collection level increases the experience given from every source, which creates a sort of snowball effect over time. As of patch 2.1, the most likely version to go live on release day, your collection level takes into account both the rarity and level of each of your minis. That means acquiring minis is still the best way to raise your level, as each new mini will boost your progress by a few points. But it also means that leveling up all of your underleveled minis is a good idea too. The end goal most players will want to shoot for is having every mini max level, at least uncommon, with a talent. Now, that's a very long-term goal, but making good decisions early on can help make the process smoother. A good rule of thumb is to buy every new mini offered. Then, you should work on buying every mini up to 3 stars. Buying any mini that appears as a rarity other than common is a good idea too, as it saves you upgrade resources and provides a good amount of stars as a bonus. At 3 stars, you can upgrade a mini to uncommon. This is the biggest power spike as it unlocks talents for that mini. However, talents are very expensive and can quickly flood the grid, so it's a good idea to only upgrade minis you plan on using to uncommon to save gold. Do note, once you buy the talent, you can't replace it until you upgrade to the next rarity and buy another, so choose carefully. I just want to quickly clarify how the grid works. When you buy something, every unit in the same column and row is removed. The rest of the grid falls to fill these slots if possible, and new units fall in from above. Using this information, along with the ability to move a mini for 5 gold, you can essentially reset bad units off of your grid. The other option for cleaning up the grid is the big red button, which resets the whole thing. Alternatively, you can just wait. Every day, the grid shifts down 1 spot, clearing the bottom row and introducing 3 new slots to the top. Keep this in mind if you have something currently in your grid that you can't afford yet. Move it to the top so you don't lose it to the daily reset. The next big gameplay unlock comes at 30 sigils, dungeons and army slots. Army slots provide up to 3 free levels for any mini that fit the criteria. You unlock and upgrade the slots by grinding dungeons. You can only clear dungeons with the weekly faction, and the faction of the dungeon follows the same rotation as the grid. So when your favorite leader is in rotation, be sure to grind because you won't get another shot for a month. At 50 sigils, you'll unlock the option to replay completed campaign levels on heroic difficulty. Beating these levels awards a tome that matches the leader you beat them with, and beating them with a leader from each faction gives you 200 gold, or 300 boosted. The first few can be pretty tough, but once all that free gold and experience starts rolling in, progress starts to pick up, so don't forget about them. Finally, I think it's important to note that not all minis are created equal. Some are great, others horrible, and a few go from awful to amazing once they get a talent. Obviously, every leader is different, but I put a few of the best all-around minis that can slot into most decks with talents on the screen now. Feel free to experiment, but if you just want to crush the PvE levels without thinking too much, this deck works decently enough with every leader. Remember, in most cases your leader is your strongest mini. Playing it as much as possible is normally the goal. And that's it. I'm sure I forgot something with all the recent updates, but hopefully you found this kind of helpful. Feel free to ask any questions you have in the comments. I know it's really hard to actually find information for this game, especially with all of the changes that have happened throughout the month. Do YouTube stuff below, or don't. I'm not your real dad, and I'll see you all eventually.